Every time I got a great shot or I produced a really great piece of work that I was proud of, it was because I spent a lot of time, effort, and energy into pre-production and I meticulously planned out that shoot. And over the years, I've developed this pre-production process that has helped me create some of my best work. And today I'm gonna take you guys through this entire process and show you guys the tools that I use that not only help me plan out my productions, but also help me land really high-paying clients. Pre-production is without a doubt one of the most important aspects of making films or commercials, and to do all my pre-production for the last few years, I've been using this app called Milanote. And I really think that Milanote is great for creatives because it uses visual boards to allow you to see a full spectrum of your pre-production process. It's hard for me to just see a bunch of words on paper. I like to have sections with pictures and images to allow me to kind of break everything up and easily digest what's going on. As I go through my entire pre-production process, I'm going to show you guys all the ways that you could use Milanote to plan out every aspect of your film production. And just so you guys know, I work on a lot of projects where I'm the director and the DP, and then I also work on projects where I'm just the director or just the DP. So I have kind of experience working in both. In this particular pre-production process, you're going to get a little bit of both, a little taste of how to put something from a director's point of view and a cinematography point of view. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so if we come into the home screen of Milanote, this is basically my template of how I break out every one of my projects. I'll have the concept and vision section, my pre-production section where I have the storyboard, shot list, lighting plan, and then I have logistics, which is budget and timeline. Going into the first aspect of my concept vision, which is the script. To me, everything begins and ends with the script. This is a script that I put together, and you could actually go in here and write your script. If you press these three little dots right here, you could take a document and you could drag it here, and then you could write whatever you want. So you could technically use this. Now, my mood board, this is really where Milanote shines. So the first thing that I do when I start any project is I gather as many music tracks that I possibly can find that I feel like would fit the theme and the vibe of what it is that we're creating. If you look right here, I have 4 different tracks, and you could actually listen to this as you're going through the mood board. And if you wanted to, you could click on this and hit autoplay. And all I did to bring the music in was I created a column. So you could create a column down here, right here. And then in this column, you can go into music and then just drag it in there and it'll download it right to your Milanote project. The next thing that I have here is the product, right? So I wanted to make sure that we're keeping in mind the product, because at the end of the day, the client wants to know that you have the product in mind. We could create the most beautiful image, but if people don't know that they're watching a commercial about this particular product, then it's really for nothing. The next thing that I did was I added in the location. I'm going out to Vegas and I'm also going out to Arizona and Utah, and the location plays such an important role and character in this commercial because the texture of the red rocks in the desert, it really gives this commercial such a unique look. Going down to the color palette, I created the color palette from the environmental colors and then also the different wardrobe colors. What's really awesome about Milanote is that you could take whatever color you want to create. You could take the color dropper tool and you could click on whatever color you want. If we want to go back to the red rock, we could click on the red and it's fiery orange. And then for the wardrobe colors, I purposely wanted something that would kind of stand out a little bit. That's why I have, like down here, I have these blues. I have this blue color right here, then I have this opal, and then I got the black from the bag. I think that it's really important that when you guys are putting together your color palette for your projects, you definitely have to take into consideration of wardrobe. Do you want the character to kind of fit into the environment, or do you want them to kind of stand out? When I'm thinking about the cinematography, I like to set certain rules because I feel like you kind of have a reasoning for doing things and you kind of have a visual idea of what you're trying to accomplish when you're out on your shoots. So some of the rules that I created for this particular commercial is the wide shot composition. I wanted it to be centered frame. So if you notice, like right here, he's in the center of the frame, he's alone. It shows you how vast and empty this area is. And then over here, as they're looking at all these sand dunes, their center frame, you see the vastness of this scene. Another rule that I had was camera movement. The majority of the camera movement is static because I feel like we don't have a big crew. We don't have a lot of time in a lot of these locations. So I feel like having like a monopod or something, a camera on sticks, and then maybe a camera either handheld. And that's one thing that I think that you have to think of while you're thinking of a project is lean into your strengths. We're going to be able to really have beautiful backdrops, really capturing just the subject in a third or in the center of a frame, and just making sure that that frame is perfect is really going to go a long way in this. Then if you look down here, tight shot composition, the other rule that I had is put the subject in the third. So like you can see right here, you see him, but you see the mountains in the background. You see her, you see the mountains in the background. That's kind of the idea for the tight shots. Now, the interior cinematography, I wanted it to be pretty contrasting to everything that we shoot outside in the daylight. I wanted it to feel like it was nighttime, and I wanted it to have, you know, this contrast between this cool blue and this tungsten look. Now, another thing that I like to do is get the inspiration for the color of the film. I just think that this all plays a role in creating the overall mood. I also think you're talking to clients most of the time. They don't have a vast understanding of what it takes to make a film or what it takes to create a look for something. So when you go and you give them your entire mood board and you're able to show them the locations and the color palette and the different cinematography, and they really can take a look at something and go, oh, okay, like I understand what your vision is for this. They're gonna feel a lot more comfortable looking at this, being like, okay, you have a strong vision. I know exactly where you're going with this. Let's get this going. I just have inspirational videos here. Now, this was just a video that I found on the internet, and I think it's very important, guys, that you do have a section where you put all of your different inspiration. It could be from movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, other YouTubers that you follow, whoever, doesn't matter. Now, going into the storyboard, I first start with the script, and I take all the different scenes and I break out all the different scenes depending on, you know, how I want the voiceover or how I want the script to play throughout the video. So in scene 1, I wrote down the first part of the script. There's a whole world out there. Now, I'm not gonna get too detailed into the description because I'm gonna leave that for the shot list where I get extremely detailed into every single shot. This is just to kind of visualize how the edit is going to flow. And then it's also so the client can visualize how the whole story is going to look and play out. I go from scene 1 and I basically go all the way to scene 10, and I'll break out every aspect of the script and write down all the descriptions, like how I want this scene to look. Then I'll go and I'll find shots from shot deck or frame set, and I'll choose shots that are the best representation of what it is that I'm trying to convey. So, you know, here is main character wakes up in a panic and goes to his desk, starting to prep for his trip. So I got a couple of shots. I got him waking up into bed. I got somebody at a desk, and then I got the product. If you notice right here, I have a note where I say, this is where we show beauty shots of the product. So if you're the client and you're kind of going through this, you can kind of get a snapshot view of what the edit is going to look like and where all the really important parts are where we're going to showcase the product. Now, the other thing that you notice here is that there's like some GIFs playing. This is an awesome way to keep an idea that I had for some shots in my mind. If you notice that these 3 or 4 shots right here are all really fast-paced moving, it shows some nature, it shows people moving. Now, how I get these GIFs is from a really awesome company, myreferencespace.com. It's a really awesome company where you could type anything in and, you know, you could take any part of any clip of a video and you could either take it as a PNG or you could create a GIF. So let's just say I like that section right there where the camera comes through the window and it shows this guy. All I have to do is click on this GIF right here and you download the video, and then you could upload the video right to your Milanote board. If you could actually show how a scene plays out, that just is another layer of understanding and building something out for, you know, a pitch or a client or even your crew, so everybody can be on the same page. So this is pretty much how I set up my storyboards. Now, I know this is a lot that I'm going over, but don't worry, guys, because I'm going to give you a template of my whole pre-production process in the description down below. So all you guys got to do is download that, and you guys can have everything literally exactly how I have it and kind of customize it to your liking. Okay, so now let's go into the shot list and show you guys how I would put together my shot list. Now, I'm actually not finished with this. I still have a little bit of work to do. I basically have shoot day 1, night interior. I'll have some pictures and a description of what it is that I'm looking for, whether it be, you know, orientation, or maybe it's the lighting and the color and the tone, just to give me an idea of what it is that I'm going for in this selected scene while I'm on set. And then another really important thing that I do is I put shots required, focal length, and frame rate. Now, what's really awesome about Milanote is you have the ability to create checklists. And I don't know about you guys, but when I have a big shot list with all these different shots on it, and you don't have something to check them off with, I can very easily get lost on set. Down here, I have the description, so like shots required, and I'll type in a little description, but then I have focal length. And what I think that's so important, the reason why I put this on here is that there's been so many times where I've been on set and we got kind of fixated on one focal length, just trying to nail all the different actions. But sometimes this will remind me to be like, hey, you get it in 35, 50, and 100 millimeter. And then the other thing is frame rate. There's been so many times where I wasn't sure whether I wanted to slow things down or not in post. So I would shoot most of my stuff in 24, and then I'd get back to the editing room and I'd be like, man, well, you know what? I really wish I shot this shot, and this shot in 60. So now what I do is I break every shot down and I say to myself, do I need this in 24 frames or should I get it in both 24 and 60? And a lot of the times I'll write 24 and then I'll go ahead and just say, you know what? Make sure you get everything in 60 FPS. And that's pretty much how I organize my shot list. Something that I found over the last couple of months that has been extremely helpful is the lighting plan. Creating a lighting plan like this is going to help you so much when you're thinking about where the lights should go, and it's actually going to make you a better cinematographer because you're going to critically think about how every light is going to affect the scene, and you're kind of imagining it before you step on set and you're just starting to move lights around. Now, to create this lighting plan, I use something called film set objects, and basically what they do is they give you a ton of assets, lighting, floor plans, windows, all of this stuff to be able to help you create this lighting diagram. And you bring it into Photoshop or maybe Canva, and you're able to put something like this together. And it was extremely easy for me to grab these assets and start putting this stuff together. And this is not sponsored at all. This is just an awesome product that I think that you guys should check out, especially if you're a cinematographer wanting to better your skills in cinematography. I think lighting plans and having the idea of doing this is going to make you guys so much better. Now, the other thing in my lighting plan that I like to have is, yes, I'll have the plan, but again, I'll have the shots that we're going for in this lighting plan. And it'll kind of get me in the mindset of how this is going to work. So we're kind of going for like a top-down lighting, kind of like this right here. But we also want to have like a close-up shot and it to have like that sort of tungsten or daylight kicker light on the side of his face. And that's why I have this Fresnel over here. We have a top down over here, and then we have some negative fill. So the lighting is going to kind of be a mix of this, and then this is like the orientation of the shot. Again, I think that it really depends on how you want to set this up. This is how I set it up so I can communicate the vision to my team and to the client. So now that we've got the lighting plan out of the way, we are moving into one of the most important aspects of film production, and probably the one that I hate the most, and that is budgeting and timeline. So let's just jump into the budget really quick. And as you guys can see, Milanote recently created the ability to create these graphs. And it's a lot like, something that you would find on an Excel spreadsheet. I'm able to put all the cost of everything and put in the formula so that way all of this cost gets added up into each category into a final total. To create this, you just click and drag this table, and you can make it as big or as small as you want. And you can customize everything on it. Awesome tool, love using it. The next thing that I like to have in the logistics section is your call sheet or your timeline where everything is kind of planned out. All I did was go straight to the Milanote template film call sheet. And all you got to do is fill this in and kind of customize it to whatever it is that you guys need. Yeah, as you guys can see, I haven't finished this. Totally procrastinating, just like the budget. But the last thing that I want to tell you guys is no matter how you do your pre-production process, the most important thing is that you guys take the time and really think about your shoot and your shots and think about the scheduling and how to plan out every shot and what the lighting kind of looks like and how you want the day to go. Because I promise you guys, it's going to make you so much more efficient while you're on set. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out Milanote, sign up for their account. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check that out. I want to thank you guys so much for stopping in, hanging out, talking about pre-production with me. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.